The Krabby Patty Conscience. SpongeBob SquarePants loved making Krabby Patties. His spatula, named Patty Smasher, was his best friend. One sunny Tuesday, Patty Smasher slipped. It fell into a giant, pearly clam that had not been on the menu. "Oh no!" cried SpongeBob, diving right in. "I need that spatula." SpongeBob tumbled out onto a pile of wood shavings. The air smelled of fresh-cut pine, not brine. He saw an old man carving. "Hello, sir. Have you seen a spatula?" A little wooden puppet sat nearby, looking at SpongeBob with wide, bewildered eyes. "A walking sponge?" whispered the puppet. Geppetto clapped his hands. "What a marvelous new toy." "Welcome, my spongy friend," Pinocchio sighed. "I don't want to be a toy. I want to be a real boy. Someone who laughs and plays." SpongeBob snapped his fingers. "Ah, a real boy needs real skills. I shall teach you the art of the Krabby Patty flip." A tiny, dapper cricket marched onto the workbench. "Hold on there, Mr. SquarePants. A real boy needs a conscience, not a spatula. Pinocchio, you must go to school." SpongeBob offered him a piece of kelp. "Maybe you just need a snack, little guy? It's a key ingredient." Pinocchio felt a pull toward the big, exciting world. Krabby Patties did sound more fun than school. He ran out the door and immediately ran into a wily fox and a sneaky cat. "Fame, my dear puppet? We can give you fame, and perhaps some pickled sea cucumber," purred the fox. Jiminy rolled his eyes. "This is exactly what I meant." SpongeBob tried to catch up by floating, which is hard on dry land. "Wait, Pinocchio. Don't listen to the talking coat rack and the furry menace." Squish. His square body wedged perfectly between two very tall buildings. Pinocchio was soon dancing on a stage, much to the delight of the mean old puppet master Stromboli. But when the show ended, Stromboli locked Pinocchio in a wooden cage. "You belong to me now, little puppet." Jiminy and a slightly flattened SpongeBob finally caught up, peering through a dusty window. Pinocchio was truly sorry. "I wanted to be real, but I just kept being a naughty puppet." A sudden, gentle light bathed the room. The beautiful blue fairy floated down, her gown sparkling like sea glass. She looked kindly at the weeping puppet. "Why did you disobey your dear father, Pinocchio?" SpongeBob, shouting from the window, tried to help. It was the furry guy and the coat rack. They tricked him. Also, "Does anyone have some butter to help me slide out?" Pinocchio, however, told a big fib. "I went to the theater to study hard." Whoosh! His nose stretched 3 feet long. SpongeBob gasped. "His nose is made of Play-Doh." Pinocchio, ashamed, finally told the truth. The blue fairy smiled. "Goodness always finds a way, my dear. Be brave, be truthful, and listen to Jiminy." She waved her wand, and Pinocchio was free. SpongeBob finally popped out of the wall. "Well, that was a wild day. I still don't have my spatula, but I have a great story for Squidward." Pinocchio felt the world was bright again. But just as he started back toward Geppetto's shop, the sneaky fox and the wily cat reappeared. "Bravo, Pinocchio! A grand escape. But school is so boring. We know a place where you can eat cake and play games all day. It's called Funland." Jiminy, perched on SpongeBob's shoulder, shook his tiny fist. "Don't listen to them. It's another trick. Remember what the blue fairy said, Pinocchio. You must listen to your conscience." But the cat dangled a shiny, new fiddle in front of the puppet. No chores, no school, just fun. Pinocchio couldn't resist. Funland sounded like a dream. He dashed off with the fox and the cat, hopping into a brightly painted coach with a big, grinning driver. "All aboard for fun," boomed the driver. SpongeBob and Jiminy were too late, staring at the dust cloud left behind. Funland was loud and bright. The air was thick with the smell of sweet ice cream and fried dough. Pinocchio threw himself into the fun, smashing toys with a giant mallet and splashing in pools of soda. "This is better than being a real boy," he cheered. Suddenly, a voice squeaked, "Wait up!" It was SpongeBob. He had hitched a ride on the back of the coach. "If you're going to have fun, you need a buddy. And maybe I can find my spatula here. Where are the Krabby Patties?" Pinocchio and SpongeBob spent the whole afternoon yelling, eating, and causing joyful chaos. They made a pile of broken toys and empty mugs of root beer. "My legs don't even hurt from running," Pinocchio exclaimed. "It's a miracle." Jiminy finally caught up, flying in on a lost balloon. He looked at the wreckage. "Oh, my stars! Don't you see what this place is? It's where naughty boys lose their sense." He pointed at Pinocchio's ears. "And your ears look awfully long." Pinocchio just chuckled. "They're just fun ears." He wiggled them, but they felt a little heavier. Suddenly, SpongeBob let out a strange sound. "Hee-haw!" He clapped a hoof where his hand used to be. "Uh-oh," he whispered. "I think I've forgotten how to flip a patty." The change sped up. Pinocchio's wooden feet stretched into sturdy gray hooves. His clothes tore as a fuzzy, thick coat of fur erupted across his body, turning him into a panicked, tiny donkey. His wooden face felt heavy and long. SpongeBob was also changing, but in a spongy, square way. His yellow body remained, but his pants and shirt burst, and he now had 4 small, spongy hooves and a long, square donkey muzzle. "A square donkey? That's not even structurally sound," cried SpongeBob. Just then, a huge, menacing man with a whip and a cruel smile walked up. It was the coachman. "All you boys who turned into donkeys," he roared, "will now go to work in the mines. You'll never see your homes again." Jiminy, hiding under a giant smashed candy cane, whispered, "We have to get out of here." He scurried to the donkeys. "Pinocchio, listen to me. Find your father. He loves you. Focus on that." SpongeBob, despite his fear, suddenly had an idea. "I'm a sponge. I absorb things." He took a giant, desperate breath, inhaling a huge amount of spilled soda from the ground. Whoosh! He swelled up like a giant, square yellow balloon. Jiminy quickly tied the balloon SpongeBob to Pinocchio's harness. "Hold on tight!" And with a great P.O.P., SpongeBob shot into the sky, pulling the little donkey with him. The coachman and his men shouted in fury as they soared away from Funland. They finally landed with a soft thump back near Geppetto's workshop. Pinocchio cried out for his father. The blue fairy instantly appeared. "You listened to your conscience, finally. You protected your friend. That is true bravery." She waved her wand, and Pinocchio's wooden skin turned soft and warm. He was a real boy, and SpongeBob was a real sponge again. "Now," said SpongeBob, "about that spatula.